More than 110 people are known to have been arrested exactly a year since the national security law was adopted in Hong Kong. While the administration says that stability has returned to the city, many of the city's democratic voices are behind bars. Roland Lim with this report.
The national security law has had a chilling effect on Hong Kong 12 months in. Since last July, the National Security Department of the Hong Kong Police has arrested more than 110 people, the majority pro-democracy activists. So far, 61 people have been charged. Most are behind bars, pending trial. One of the most prominent is Next Digital founder Jimmy Lai, who's been denied bail while awaiting trial on charges that he colluded with foreign powers to impose sanctions or engage in hostile activities. His newspaper, Apple Daily, has folded after authorities froze its assets. Many other activists who played a role in the 2019 anti-government protests left the city to seek asylum. Professor Lau Siu Kai, a senior Hong Kong advisor to Beijing, believes the days of Hong Kong labelled a protest city are numbered as the police clamps down on authorised assemblies, citing the security law.
Before, the police quite easygoing in granting permissions. But now, given the turmoil in the last 2 years, I expect the police to be more cautious and to play safe by not easily allowing people to gather together in large numbers and making protests.
That means that the annual vigil at the Tiananmen Square incident on June 4th at Victoria Park will be a thing of the past. It's been banned by police for 2 years running, citing public health concerns due to COVID-19. And as the first trial under the new law is currently underway for 29-year-old Tong Ying Kit, who drove his motorcycle into police officers while flying a flag calling to liberate Hong Kong, there isn't a right to a jury trial. It's traditionally the case under Hong Kong's common law system, as opposed to China's civil law, under which the National Security Bill was drafted.
I wouldn't say it trumps the basic law, because if you look at the hierarchy, and the basic law and the national security law, you can say they're at the same level. Okay? So if there's any conflict between those two, actually it requires a decision from the Standing Committee of the NPC. And as our Court of Appeal said recently, we should take an approach to interpret the national security law in the way that there is no inconsistency between the national security law and the basic law.
Professor Lin Feng, who specializes in Chinese and constitutional law, believes that critical reporting and even sensitive commentaries in newspapers would still be allowed, in spite of the security law, arguing that any conspiracy to collude requires agreement and intent.
Only one so far has been invoked. That's the collusion part one. So I think for Apple Daily and that the whole group basically is charged with that crime. So any other media groups or media, if they have no collusion there, because collusion requires an agreement. If there's no collusion, I don't think there should be any worry about it.
Nevertheless, a growing number of Hong Kongers are planning to leave the city. Over 10,000 received resident permits in Taiwan last year, while over 30,000 have applied to settle in the UK in the first 3 months of this year alone. Hong Kong's Monetary Authority says there's no evidence that many are cashing out, as the territory received a net inflow of funds last year, up 5.4% on year to $1.9 trillion. But some multinationals are considering leaving the city. A recent survey by the American Chamber of Commerce found that more than 40% of its members are mulling over their options. Roland Lim, CNA, Hong Kong.